way from Liberia's capital. A pleasant good afternoon and welcome to Focal News Summary, 15 minutes presentation capturing Liberia, Africa, and our warm world. My name is Kay Lyndon Toba, anchoring this segment of our news presentation. In the headlines, hundreds of aggrieved supporters and family of jailed Liberian lawmakers celebrate the date at the Monrovia Central Prison. Former President George Weah pays visit to jailed lawmakers in solidarity amid heightening political concern. President Boakai accepts resignation of Commerce Inspector General Doyle Cooper nearly months after fraud saga erupted. Briefly away from home, U.S. President Donald Trump signed a new executive order restricting several African nations from traveling to the United States. These and many more are all packaged. We're taking a short break. When we come back, the news bulletin is up next. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us on this presentation. President Boakai has officially accepted the resignation of Commerce Inspector General Doyle Cooper. Mr. Cooper, who served as Inspector General at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, was found liable for forging academic record at the state-owned University of Liberia. In a formal communication addressed to the President dated on May 28, 2025, Mr. Cooper tendered his resignation, expressing profound gratitude for the opportunity to serve the Liberian people. He cited his service as one of the greatest honors of his life and reaffirmed his enduring commitment to the values of patriotism, commitment and public service. President Boakai thanked Mr. Cooper for his dedicated service, highlighting the important role he played in promoting accountability in the nation's commercial regulatory framework. The president further emphasized the government's continual commitment to good governance and the institutional effectiveness, and assured the public that the Ministry of Commerce and Industry remain fully operational. An announcement regarding Mr. Cooper's successors will be made in due course. Monrovia City Court has issued travel ban on former House Speaker, Councillor Jonathan Funati Kofa, alongside 4 sitting lawmakers, barring them from leaving the country. The move follows criminal charges by the Liberian National Police. The 5 lawmakers, which include Representative Funati Kofa, Abu Kamara, Dixon Sibo, Jacob Dibi, and Priscilla Cooper, are facing prosecution in connection with the alleged burning of the Capitol building. The court decision to restrict their movement was issued over the weekend by Magistrate Ben Bako, who granted a writ of the exit Republican following a formal request from state prosecutors. The writ mandates that all security agencies stationed at Liberia's port and entry prevent the accused lawmaker from traveling abroad. State security agencies have been instructed to arrest the lawmakers if they are seen attempting to leave the country while the charges are pending. In a related development, Representative Frank Safoko and Marvin Cole have been released by the Liberian National Police after ongoing several hours of investigation into the December 2024 fire outbreak at the Capitol building. The 2 lawmakers were among 7 representatives, including former Speaker J. Funati Kofa, who was summoned in connection with the alleged attack on the Capitol building. Following his release, Montserrat District 9 Representative Frank Safoko stated that the police investigation found no evidence linking him to the fire incident, noting he was declared a free citizen. Representative Foko added that he remains committed to upholding the rule of law and will continue to cooperate with the Liberian National Police as the investigation progresses. Also speaking, Representative Marvin Cole of Bond County District 3 said the LNP decision to release him was based on findings that confirmed his innocence. However, he described the movement as sad, expressing regret over the indictment of former Speaker and other lawmakers. President Joseph Boakai has hailed agriculture as backbone to Liberia's thriving economy. President Bouakai emphasized that Liberia must take pride in its natural resources, thereby increasing the country's natural economic viability. Speaking at his farm in Bamagbapalu County, the Liberian leader further highlighted the need for increased attention towards agriculture as a foundation for national development. According to an executive mansion release, the president's visit is part of a broader agenda to promote agricultural productivity and rural development. He added, by showcasing the viability of fish farming, the nation stands to inspire a new generation of agripreneurs which will bolster private sector investment. The Liberian National Police has concluded a month-long investigations into Capitol building arson case, revealing a coordinated plot to destabilize national peace and democracy. Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman confirmed evidence-based charges on Friday. The charges included arson and conspiracy, implicating private citizens and lawmakers. The police board stressed that the investigation was based on legal framework, not political matter driven by false and constitutional duty to justice. The police warned against incitement, urging calm and respect for Liberia's judicial process and democratic values. The police chief assured that the investigation and subsequent prosecution of those involved will not cause Liberia to fall, but rise stronger, united, and committed to peace. A group calling itself Concerned Supporters of the Rescue Mission wants President Joseph Bouakai to appoint John Kimba as Inspector General at the Ministry of Commerce. The calls followed the recent resignation of Commerce Inspector General Doyle Cooper, who resigned due to his involvement in the diamond academic fraud. In the release, the group described Mr. Kimba as competent individual whose vision aligns with their arrest agenda for national unity. In a full-count endorsement statement, Concerned Supporters of the Rescue Mission cited, among other things, that the candidate's qualifications, leadership abilities could make him outstanding for the position. If you are just joining in, this is a reminder that you are listening to Focus News Summary, 15 minutes of major development in capturing Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Let's take a quick look at our headlines we are following. Hundreds of aggrieved supporters and families of jailed Liberian lawmakers celebrate following their release on bail. Former President George Weah pays visit to jailed lawmakers in solidarity amid heightening political concern. President Bouakai said resignation of Commerce Inspector General Doyle Cooper months after fraud saga erupted. Briefly away from home, U.S. President Donald Trump signed a new executive order on Wednesday night banning citizens from 12 countries, mainly impacting Africa. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we bring you the continuation of this development. Let's take a short break. Okay, welcome back and thanks for rejoining us on this presentation. This is a reminder that you are listening to Focus News Summary. A prominent member of the opposition Congress of Democratic Change, Abdul D. Cannon, has expressed disappointment in the current leadership of the party, accusing them of double standard. In an interview with journalists, Cannon called for a restructuring of the party while pledging his commitment to rebranding the institution. He further vowed to sacrifice everything in the interest of the party, including his life, which, according to him, demonstrates his commitment to transformation. The CDC stalwart also criticized internal figure, claiming some are aligned with President Bouakai and working to undermine the CDC from within by enabling outside influence. He warned of internal and external resistance to protect the party's value, urging loyalists to prepare for decisive action to reclaim the CDC integrity. President Joseph Bouakai has signed Executive Order 150 suspending import tariff on rice. The move is aimed at stabilizing the prices of rice on the Liberian market, preventing further hack in the price of the nation's staple food. The executive order seeks to improve affordability and ensure access to food across every household in the country. According to an executive mansion release, President Bouakai's suspension underscores his commitment to food security, price stability, and protecting the purchasing power of ordinary Liberians. Meanwhile, the Liberian leader has mandated the Ministry of Commerce, the Liberia Revenue Authority, and other agencies to ensure full and timely enforcement of the new executive order across the Liberian market. The African Union Commission has expressed concern over new U.S. travel restriction impacting several African nations to date in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, June 5, 2025. While acknowledging America's right to enforce broader security, the Commission urges a balanced and evidence-based approach reflecting historic U.S. ties. Officials warn that the measures may harm educational, economic, and diplomatic relations carefully built over decades. The Commission calls for consultation and transparent communication with affected countries to address any underlying issues collaboratively. It affirms readiness to support dialogue and efforts that strengthen U.S. Africa cooperation. And away from home, U.S. President Donald Trump signed a new executive order Wednesday night banning citizens from 12 countries from entering the United States June 9, 2025. The full travel ban applies to Afghanistan, Yemen, Chad, Congo, Brazzaville, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen, citing national security concern. President Trump said that the decision followed an attack highlighting the risk of admitting foreigners without proper vetting, calling it a necessary move to protect Americans. A partial ban affects 7 additional countries, including Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. These nations face restricted visas and tougher entry screening. The White House cited political instability and high visa overstay rate. Human rights groups and affected government have condemned the order and vowed legal and diplomatic responses. Now to end this news, we recap all of the major stories we have been following closely on today's edition of our program, Focal News Summary. Hundreds of Agrees supporters and families of jailed Liberian lawmakers celebrate following their release from the Monrovia Central Prison. Former President George Weah paid visit to jailed lawmakers in solidarity amid heightening political concern. President Boakai said resignation of Commerce Inspector General Doyle Cooper nearly months after fraud saga erupted, and briefly away from home, U.S. President Donald Trump issued travel ban on several African countries, citing national security concern. This is Focal News Summary. My name is Ken Lyndon Toba. I presented on today. Good afternoon.